Hello everyone, in the last videos we were discussing about the methods of psychological inquiry and we covered observational method and experimental method, and in this video we are going to discuss on the correlational research. So what is correlational research? In correlational research there are two variables, and like in the experimental method we manipulated the variables, but in the correlation variables we find the relation between these two variables. We are just measuring it, we are not manipulating the variables. So in correlational research there will be two variables. No manipulation is done in the variables. In correlational research we do only measuring the variables. We find the relation between the two variables. Let us take x and y. Variable 1 is x and variable 2 is x. It could be anything. We try to find the relation between these two variables, or if there is any, we try to find if there is any correlation between these two variables. Suppose let us take the amount of time, amount of study time and the academic achievement. These are the two variables, variable 1 and variable 2. Then in correlation method we can study if there is any relation between these two variables. So are they correlated or not? Let us see. In correlational method, researchers use correlations to see if a relationship between two or more variables exists. So we told that in correlational method researchers try to find whether there is if there is any relationship between the two variables. So the researchers use correlation, that is what we are telling here. Researchers use correlation to see if a relationship between two or more variables exists, and the strength and direction of the relationship between two variables is represented by a number. We told in correlation method researchers used to see the relation between two variables, and the strength and direction of the relationship between these two variables are represented by a number, and it is known as correlation coefficient. It is known as correlation coefficient, and there are three types of coefficient correlation. Three types of coefficient correlations, they are positive correlation, second one is negative correlation, and then the third one is zero correlation. And let us see what is positive correlation. If the value of one variable, increases, value of another variable also increases. In positive correlation, if the value of one variable increases, then the value of another variable will also increase. And example for this, finding more time in running in treadmill if you find more time in running in treadmill, the more calories you will burn. So this is an example of positive correlation. If you find more time in running in the treadmill, so this is the first variable, then the calories you will burn will also be more. Okay. So here in positive correlation both are increasing, both the variables are increasing. Now another example is your length of hair is short, then amount of shampoo which is used also be less. So in this case both the variables are decreasing. Short, you have a short hair, the length of hair is less, then the amount of shampoo used also be less. So both the variables are decreasing here. So this is also positive correlation, whereas if one variable increases, other variable also increase, and then if one variable decreases, other variable also decreases. So this is positive correlation, we can say positive correlation. And then negative correlation is if one variable, value of one variable increases and the value of another variable decreases. In negative correlation, when the value of one variable increase, the value of another variable decreases. This is negative correlation. One is increasing and the other one is decreasing. This is negative correlation. Example for negative correlation is suppose a train, if a train increases its speed, if a train increases its speed, then the time needed to reach the destination will be less. See here, if a train increases its speed, then the time needed to reach the destination is less. This is negative correlation. One variable increases and the other variable decreases. And in positive correlation, if one variable increases, the other variable also increases. This is positive correlation. Both the variables are increasing. Now the last one is zero correlation. Sometimes no correlation may exist between the two variables. Then it is a zero correlation. For example, amount of tea drunk and intelligence. This happens hardly. So see here, is there any relation between these two variables, amount of tea drunk and the intelligence? No. So if there is no correlation exists between two variables, it is called as zero correlation. So we were discussing about correlational method, correlational research. In correlational research, there are two variables and no manipulations is done in the variables as we did in the experimental method. We made manipulations in the variable, but in the correlational research there is no manipulation, but we are measuring the variables here. It could be anything. Suppose we can take x and y. They find a steady relation between these two variables, and then strength and direction of the relationship of two variables is represented by a number. So the strength and the direction is represented by a number, and it is called as correlation coefficient. And this, there are three types of coefficient in correlation. There are positive correlation, negative correlation and zero correlation. In positive correlations, when one variable value of one variable increase, the other value of other variable also increase. And in negative correlation, when the value of one variable increase, the value of other variable decreases. And in zero correlation, there may no correlation exist between these two variables. Such kind of relations are zero correlation. So that is correlational research. Thank you.